So next we have the Val Kilmer Batman from Batman Forever, or as seen on the movie Batman Forever, um, which is the third movie in the Burtonverse. Um, and I only mentioned that since we don't have a Batman Returns version currently, but I'm probably guessing, pretty sure that we'll get one in the future. While at Comic Con, McFarlane did announce that they were releasing a wave from the Batman and Robin, which we'll see the Batman from that one, the Clooney, after this one. They are releasing a wave for the Batman and Robin, which will include the Batman, the Robin, uh, Poison Ivy, and I forget who else. There were 4 figures, and they're gonna make a build-a figure, which is of the Schwarzenegger Mr. Freeze. I believe it was Batgirl. I forget who was the wave, but they are releasing a wave of that. So we're probably gonna see each of these figures released in the future, and I'll point out something that pretty much confirms that. And I'm pretty sure we're gonna get a Batman Returns Batman as well. But the only reason that I'm mentioning that is if you want a stand-in for a Batman Returns Batman in the meantime, I'm gonna bring in one of my customs, which is from the first video that I ever put on the channel, which was this guy, which I showed you guys how to make him. So I will forget what was this figure called, but if you check out the very first video from my channel, I showed you guys how to make this version, which is like a generic version of a Batman, of a Keaton Batman. But this guy is like my current Batman Returns version, which has the more correct bat symbol, and it uses the other head from the SH Figure Arts, the one that has the side eyes. So yeah, I show you guys how to make this guy. So if you want something to bridge a gap between 89 and 90, whenever this one released, 93, 94, you can use this guy. So cheap plug. So okay, so we have the Val Kilmer. Now I'm gonna be straight up honest with you guys. This is one of my favorites from this set. When I looked at the initial pictures of the release, I was blown away by how good it looked. And then other reviewers showing off the figures, I was like, wow, that looks awesome. And now that I have it here in hand, yeah, I am totally blown away by how awesome this figure looks. So let's take him out of his blister here. However, as cool as he looks with the metallic blue paint, again, let's take a look at the logo here at the bottom of the plate here, Batman Forever, with the question mark logo, which it was actually pretty cool how they did that. Again, this is just glued at the base. That was a cool integration of the logo. But anyway, I forgot, it's something that I want to mention that I believe is true. I may have seen this a while ago, but I'm not 100%, but I forgot to research. I'm pretty sure that either Geiger worked, H.R. Geiger, however you pronounce his name, I believe he worked as part of the set design or something in regards to this movie. I believe he designed the Batmobile or something, and then The costume here almost has those Giger-esque touches to it. So I don't know if he also designed this costume or not, but you can see from like the way these little odd little like design choices on this guy, on the costume, how they look. Um, it's almost like cyber or futuristic muscle tissue that's exposed, right? Which reminds me a lot of the xenomorphs. So that's what makes me believe that he had a hand in designing. I'm pretty sure he designed the Batmobile, but I don't know if he designed this costume or this costume was inspired by his work, and thus, the similarities. But yeah, no, look at this. The head sculpt on this guy is freaking awesome. I love it. It looks like Val Kilmer almost 100%. Again, none of these guys are supposed to have neck articulation, but it doesn't look so off on this guy. All right. Again, all of that semi-organic type detail. Now, the one thing that is, it's not a fault of McFarlane. But what bothers me is that they gave him like the Superman type boots. Superman has the V cut on the boots, while Batman's are usually the ones that are pointed, going upwards and at a point. So instead, they gave this Batman the pointed. I'm sorry, the V cut on the boots. Even if they gave him flat boots or like military type boots, it would have been okay. So I don't know why they decided to go with this look instead. I don't remember. I don't remember how the cape on this guy draped normally, if it went all the way to the front or not. But I'm gonna do it anyway. I just like the. For me, Batman should always have the cape going all the way up to the front, at least, to up to his, uh, around the clavicles, and then going downwards. Um, the more traditional 80 style Batman has the cut at right here, above, right at the by the neck, and going downwards into an open cut in a V. That's how I would prefer. Then most of my Batman figures have their capes, but not all of the movie versions have that available. But on this guy, I'm at least gonna go up to these buckles that he has here up on his by his clavicles. Okay, so I was gonna mention. I was gonna say, you notice this plug here on the back of the figure. This is pretty much confirmation that this is where the plastic cape for the single release is gonna be used to adapt to the figure. So I'm pretty sure you're gonna see this guy in the future again. So for those who missed out on this set, be patient. You're gonna get them eventually. So what I'm gonna do with this guy, as much as I like the color on this figure, I'm gonna redo the whole thing. I'm going to give him a black and gray costume color scheme. Um, I'm gonna paint the whole body in gray. Give him black gauntlets and boots. Yes, painting the diaper. I'm gonna paint that black. I'm gonna paint the cowl black, and the bat symbol black. So I may switch it up and maybe make it a gunmetal gray. so that I can give it a two-tone and take advantage of all of this molded detail. So like whatever is on top, paint in gunmetal, and then whatever is underneath, paint in like a matte gray, in the matte base gray. But yeah, so it's gonna be basically a black and gray Batman with the large bat chest symbol here to take advantage of this, right? So yeah, I think it's gonna look pretty good. If I have time when I'm editing this this video, I may do like a quick Photoshop and put it, somewhere around here, and see like how it would look like. But yeah, this is an awesome figure. Oh, I guess we're gonna have to check articulation on this guy. Very clicky elbows, very nice tight wrists. Nothing too loose here on the shoulder joints. That one's also very clicky. This one, look at that. Look at that crunch. That's just on the diaphragm here. This is what most people are hoping for McFarlane to do with every single figure. Right? And he nailed it on this guy. And then we have the waist cut. Let's see. A little under 90 degrees. Not as much. Yeah. Not as much as on the Keaton version. Very tight knee ratchet. That one's even tighter. Don't want to force it. The boots, very tight. The swivel on the base of this one is very tight. I don't want to force it, but there it is. Yeah, probably need to heat it up a little bit just to soften it up. I don't want to break it or something. But yeah, very, very high quality on this one. And the cape, I believe the cape is the same material as for every single one of these guys. It has like that mesh, like you see on, like on basketball jerseys. It's kind of like the same mesh. So yeah, this guy, this figure, it's a home run. This one is a 10 for me, on this set. Oh, I guess one thing to mention, all of these guys don't come with any accessories. None. No alternate fists, no weapons or anything like that. So if you have some extra weapons laying around, you can't even use them because they all come with fists. So yeah, this guy is a home run. All right, let's go on to the next one. And here we have, oh, George. It's not your fault, my guy. It's not your fault that your movie was crap. Because this figure is awesome. This figure is awesome. I love it. I wasn't expecting to, people hate on Clooney's Batman because just the movie was horrible. I don't know. The guy's a great actor. It's just, the movie was just crap. But in terms of just specifically this release, this figure right here, this figure is awesome. I love it, man. It's my favorite. I think it's my favorite from this set, honestly. Um, and what I have in mind for this figure is it's gonna be. I think it's gonna be cool. I don't know. But yeah. Here we here we have the plating at the bottom, Batman from Batman and Robin. Another cool implementation of that symbol, of the variant, how they played with the symbols, starting with the Batman Forever movie. Yeah, let's take this guy out. So here we have the Clooney Batman. I forget all of the designations that they gave these bat suits in the movies. I believe the one that they gave Val Kilmer, I forget. I believe it's called the sonar suit, and I believe the one where he started in the movie, um, that was all black, was called the Panther suit, right? So I don't know what they call this version of the Clooney Batman, other than the one with the bad nipples. Yes, he does have the bad nipples. There you go. But other than that detail, I actually love this figure. Why? Because he has a bat symbol with an oval, and you know what that means. I'm gonna paint this guy to look something like this. I'm gonna give him the blue and gray treatment. I'm gonna paint him. I'm gonna paint the oval yellow with the black bat, blue undies, yellow belt, blue boots, and a gray bodysuit with the blue. I'm probably just gonna play around with the colors. I don't know if I'm gonna go with like a darker shade of gray, similar to like the Hush figure here, or keep the standard coloration like this guy, or the darker gray, which is like from this version here of the bad girl, which is more like the 70s and early 80s Batman gray that they used, which it just goes perfectly with that baby blue that they use. Um, but anyway, I love this figure. I love this costume. I mean, other than the bad nipples, which I'm planning on shaving off when I'm doing the custom work. Um, that cowl, man, look at that cowl. It's almost like a classic Batman cowl, right? There's no excessive detail. It's pretty clean all around, right? He's got the long ears, or not super long ears, but he doesn't have this. He's got pointy, sharp, tall ears, right? The only thing is, the only difference, like from this and say the Nightfall Batman, the ears don't go all the way back on the Nightfall Batman. They go almost like 2/3 of the way back of the head, where they should be a little more centered. But on this guy, they go all the way to the back. But anyway, but when you're looking at the figure from the front, he looks awesome. And also that face sculpt on the Clooney face, man. Look at that. That's fucking George Clooney, man. I'm Batman. What's his spoiler alert for those who saw the Flash, didn't see the Flash movie. I didn't see it, but I've seen plenty of movie reactions where I can put the movie together. He does show up at the end, and he tells Barry, what's wrong with you? What's wrong with you?" But anyway, yeah, no, this figure, it's my favorite from the set. What can I say? Again, I don't know if the cape is supposed to drape all the way to the front, like this, but that's what I'm gonna do. I may actually go all the way up to the front, depending on how this piece is held together. I don't know if it's molded up the way to the front. Come on, focus. There we go. I believe there's room to shift all the cape all the way up to the front. I don't know how this is gonna release, but we shall see. I believe I can go all the way to the front. You can see the cape there tucking underneath, and then I can always just do some slight modding and carve out a little ditch in there, make the cape go all the way to the front. We'll see. But yeah, this guy is gonna get the blue and gray treatment. That's why I love this figure even more. Um, the only thing, the only thing that bothers me about this costume is the over branding of the bat. So he's got a bat symbol on his chest, on his belt, and the boots. That's just too much. That's just too much. Um, But I mean, there's nothing that I can do. I can try and remove the bats. I don't know if they're removable. I think that, yeah, molded into the they're molded into the boot. It's all one piece. I could probably try and grind it out, uh, but then it would be too much work. I'll see what I can do with these. There's no there's probably not much that can be done. So but yeah, let's check out the articulation on this guy. Good, solid elbows. I'm sorry, shoulders. Clicky elbows. Yes. Very nice extension on the leg here. Very clicky knee. Yep. And the boots, the feet, clicky feet. This one's a little stuck. I don't want to twist it too hard. Let's see. No. So I'm gonna have to work on the ankle here at the foot to enable the articulation. I don't wanna. It's there. There you go. But it's still a little too rough. Not rough. It's just too stiff. Sorry. So. And again, this guy, like I said, he is getting a release in the future, so that you can see that hole to plug in the what might be just a plastic cape for the single card release. But yeah, this guy is awesome. I love it. I love it. Who would have known? Who would have guessed that the most hated Batman, in my opinion, would have the best of figure of the set? I don't know. The underwear was tucking in. But yeah, I love this guy. I love it, and what I'm thinking of doing, I'm probably gonna love it even more. All right, let's make a quick pause and check out the next one. So here we have the Nolan trilogy, the Dark Knight trilogy version of Batman, the Christian Bale Batman. And now we are entering into the re-release, remold, recycled, whatever you want to call it, reuse of figures on the set, which is fine for those who weren't able to get these figures individually, like me. So this was a perfect chance to get some of those figures that you missed out, and also getting 3 new figures that are completely new. So all in all, I think the set is worth it, just for that purpose. If you already have half of these figures, I don't know if you're willing to pay, well, right now, like $150, but when it first released, $120 for 3 figures that haven't been released. They are brand new. So that would be like $40 for figure. That's too much for some people, but some people pay $80, $90, $100 for imports. So, but these are technically $20 figures. So again, it all depends. But since I didn't have, 5 out of 6 of the figures, for me the set was worth it. So here we have one of those that I didn't have, the ones that I don't have. The Christian Bale. So let's take him out of the blister here. You can see again the plating for the Dark Knight series. Let's take the figure out. So one of the complaints about the single release was that The paint application on this guy wasn't the best. I believe some people were saying that the figure was too much gray and not enough black. And again, since I don't have the other figures to compare, I believe this is a little more accurate to the to how he looks in the movies. It's been a while since I've seen the movie, so I don't recall exactly all of the details of the suit. But I believe this is pretty accurate, and I believe what other people have said in other reviews is that this is more accurate to the movie. Um, Now, from a visual standpoint, I definitely love the figure. However, this figure does have some issues with it. And if you were paying a little bit of attention when I released the figure, you just noticed something. He's got a wobbly knee right here. Look, this is a little too loose. I mean, it's not gonna snap off or anything. It's not that it's broken or anything. It's just that the molded on the plastic is probably a little too wide. I guess the reuse, the remold, or whatever you want to call it. You can see right there. I could probably try and heat it up, see if I can tighten it up, just to get that to be a little more snug, or just add, I don't know, some nail polish to thicken it up a little bit. But yeah, that's one of the issues that I have with this figure. And I believe that was that's the only thing as far as like QC. Everything else is very tight and very snug. It's just this knee right here that's a little too loose. The other thing that I don't like, but again, it's probably nothing to do with with McFarlane. As well, I mean, the QC issue is McFarlane, but as far as the suit and design or whatnot, I think the legs or thighs are a little too spread out. It kind of looks like he's got super wide hips and a tiny waist. So if the legs were a little bit closer together, it would look a little more I don't know, less feminine in some way. I'm not saying he looks like a female. I'm just saying women typically have small waist, large hips. So it kind of has those type of hourglass dimensions, and you can see here. So instead of all of this being like one seamless transition from around the obliques all the way down to the hips and to the legs, this is probably how thick the figure should be. Instead of he's got super wide hips, because this part is a little too wide, I guess. I don't know. Either the belt is on too tight, and it's warping the diaper, or that's just how it was in the movies. I don't remember. I don't recall Christian Bale having baby birthing hips. So I think that's just part of the design of the figure, how it just ended up coming out. So there's that. But yeah, overall, again, let's look at the head sculpt here. Like I said, I never owned the single release, so I don't know. I can't compare. I believe the other did he have side eye on those? I don't know. Kind of looks like, no, he doesn't. But yeah, this does look like Christian Bale, I never really liked the chin strap look for his design. It kind of looks like the Injustice figure. I'm sorry, the design from the Injustice video games, where they gave him like a helmet cowl, which has a chin strap. So I just rather him have more of the exposed chin, like traditionally he has. But like I said, so other than the very loose knee there, the elbows are pretty tight, very clicky. Decent ab crunch on this guy. Pretty good leg. Not quite the 90, but enough. The knee here at the top. So the ratchet here at the top on this one is more clicky than this one. This one's a little softer. We only know the issue on this one, but this one's tight. And very clicky ankles. And the rocker is tight on this one, so I don't want to ruin it. Yeah, so I don't want to force that. Need some heat. But overall, this is a pretty good figure. Again, this one also has the plug, so this was the giveaway for many of the other figures that people, who had this release, the previous release, know that once they saw these plugs on the other figures, they knew that they were going to get single releases eventually. So I'm going to score this guy an 8. There's not much I'm gonna do with this guy. I don't know. I don't know how if I'm gonna repaint him into something else or not. But again, the only issue is with the knee here, with the loose knee. So let's move on to the next one.